I started crocheting about 3 months ago, I didn't think that it would spiral into this obsession, but here we are, and now I have the audacity to think I can just make my entire wardrobe crochet. And so that's what I'm gonna do, starting with this shirt. When I first started learning to crochet back in late November of last year, I kind of thought it was hard to begin with. I started trying to make a granny square, but then as soon as I was able to get the hang of it, I got this sense of I can do anything. Like, since I was able to learn what I thought was really difficult and something that I didn't know if I was actually able to do, I went from being like, okay, I don't know if I can do this at all, to being like, if I could do this, I could probably make anything. I don't know, that I think that's where this overconfidence is coming from. My vision of creating my own crocheted wardrobe is, I think it would be really cool to make probably a lot of shirts. I may eventually make some stuff like bottoms, but I think that it's really easy for me to just pair skirts or pants or things like that that I already have, because I love skirts and pants, but pairing that with like shirts that I have. Also, something recently that I realized is I have put myself into a box with my style a little bit, because at some point something in my brain was like, I really love fall colors and I think that fall colors look good on me, and because of that I kind of stopped experimenting with more vibrant, brighter colors and thinking that that was my I thought that like fall and darker colors and black were my style, and I didn't realize that that kind of put me in a box, because more recently I've been trying to just embrace what is it naturally that I am gravitating towards, and I'm gravitating a little bit more towards deep, vibrant purples and plums and bright reds and like colors that I would not have gone for like a year ago or 6 months ago, because I just thought that doesn't match my style. And so I'm happy to finally just be kind of breaking out of that box and just being like, what do I want to wear today? What sounds good today? Since I've already made this shirt, which is acrylic, and I blocked it to hell and back to try to get it to be softer and less crunchy, and it's definitely soft and less crunchy, I want to make a shirt with this exact same pattern that I found online. The channel is called Made in the Moment, and I will link that pattern below, or that tutorial. I want to make the same shirt but with different colors, so let me show you. I'm not sure how this will turn out. It's just an experiment, but I want to make the same shirt with these colors. That's what I'm going to start today. Let's build this handmade wardrobe one shirt at a time. All right, I'm going to get started on this now. So here I am getting all of my supplies ready. I wasn't sure at this point which hook I was going to use, so I just got everything out that I have, and I decided to start with the purple yarn to use for the bottom part of this shirt. I've already got a slip knot on, and I've started trying to master this foundation chain, which I had never done before. So this is just me learning and trying to figure that part out. It took me a while to get used to it, because I did find it kind of challenging at first. And I finally figured it out. I figured out how to do the foundation chain. I was very proud. I thought it looked pretty. And so now I'm continuing on with the gauge swatch for this shirt. This is just something that the person who created this tutorial suggested to get an idea of how big your shirt would be, depending on many factors like your yarn size and yarn tension. I have a finished gauge swatch here, and here's what it looks like. It's got like a mesh look to it. So here I'm measuring my gauge swatch to see how big my shirt would be, and I had to do a little bit of math, but it turned out to be easy. Here's what I have right now. This is 40 stitches across this foundation chain, and then I'm just building it up this way vertically. Here's where we are, and I'm just gonna continue going along here, and then it'll be a repeat pattern for most of the front panel until I get to the neck. But I'm in a flow now, so that's what I'm gonna work on. And I honestly, I have no idea if I have enough yarn. I never know. Because the person in the video is using less yardage, I believe, than I have here, I should have plenty, like more than enough yarn, but I still I still don't know. Like, I guess we'll see as we go along if it starts to dwindle faster than I thought, but I got my fingers crossed that I just have enough yarn. Worst case scenario, I do have another purple that I can bring in. It seems to be similar size, but it has a different look to it. It's got more of a sheen to it. Also, I forgot to mention, the yarn that I am using for this it's like 100% wool, but I'm not too concerned about that being on in a really hot climate because of the fact that I am doing a mesh stitch. Like, there's naturally just going to be so much breathing because it's literally holes all over. I'm not concerned about it being too hot. I will update you as I go and we'll see how this goes. What's up? The last time I filmed was on Friday and it's now Tuesday, so I have done a lot. I have completely finished the front panel and almost, I would say, 3/4 of the way through the back panel. So let me show you that. Here's the front panel. Sorry, my desk is a little bit messy, but I put some stitch markers in the middle to mark where the neck's gonna be. And I do believe whenever I block this, it's going to stretch out a little bit, so it's gonna get a little bit longer. But I love this color combination so much. I'm so happy with how it is so far, and I decided to actually make it perfectly line up. The front and the back panels, I have plenty of yarn, so I decided to make them match up so the stripes will just be blocked all the way around. I had a friend over on Saturday night and I got a little bit done then, and then I worked a lot on it on Sunday, and it's been going by pretty fast considering mostly I'm just doing it while I'm watching my husband play Resident Evil, which he did finish. I will see you when I have some progress. And here is the finished front and back panel lined up next to each other. I thought it was so satisfying to see them sitting next to each other and just how they would block, color block all the way around. Then I added some stitch markers into my shirt where I wanted the seam to be. Umeshu sour? What's the percentage?
This is a 6-pack of all of them.
Oh.
They all have...
What's the percentage?
Oh, wait. They're non-alcoholic.
That's a bummer.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's just beer.
I don't want beer.
Right? Spending money on alcohol every week.
Yeah. And this is me after I've gotten my seams all stitched up. I'm weaving in my ends. I actually like this process. And here we are onto the blocking process, which is just me taking a hot iron and letting the steam fall on top of the shirt, but never touching the iron to the shirt so that the fibers can relax and I can get a bit of a drapier fit and it can just look a little bit more natural in my body. Alright, it is now a few days later and I'm finally finished with the project and I have time to talk about it. I originally had this filmed in a fixed position, but I hated the lighting and I decided since I'm gonna refilm, I'm just gonna hold the camera this whole time, so sorry if the camera is shaky. I am absolutely in love with how this turned out. I love the color choices that I made. I now have a purple in my wardrobe, which I could not be happier about. I think the style is so different from the very first mesh shirt that I made with the same tutorial. I think that just goes to show that you can use the same tutorial for 2 different shirts and they can look so completely different, and I love that. I do plan on making more shirts with the same tutorial probably, with different colors and different themes, but this one is much more cropped than my first one. I wanted to make it a little bit more cropped, but I was surprised with, I guess, how much shorter it came out. But I was very happy when I put it on and I was just in love with how it fit It really shapes to my body nicely, and it cuts off in a spot that's like right above where like a high-waisted skirt or high-waisted pant would cut off right there. I'm so happy, and I know that I'm going to get so much use out of this shirt. It has more of like this like fancy kind of, I don't know if I would say fancy, but more elevated and elegant feel like to it. Maybe part of that is the fact that I'm using 100% wool, and it's just kind of not so fuzzy and shiny. It's got a nicer texture to it, but I was just so inspired when I finished this, and I immediately tried it on with all of my skirts and all of my high-waisted pants, and I just could not be happier. If you love how this shirt came out and you want to make one, please go follow Made in the Moment and watch their tutorial. I will link it below. Thanks to them, I have made my very first shirt, and I now have a couple shirts in my wardrobe that are 100% made by me. I'm off to a good start with making my own handmade wardrobe, of having most of my wardrobe be handmade. It has been so rewarding so far, even though I'm really just starting this journey, but wearing my own stuff feels so special and feels good to me. I can't wait to show you more, and here is the reveal and all of the outfits that I put together.